Welcome back to your
Second,
favorite sports podcast. I'm Nick,
I'm Trent.
and we are not in actually, I'm in our typical setting. I'm in the seat that I always sit in when we record. Trent is not in his typical seat next to me. We're having to do the episode remote. We mentioned that in the last episode. If you haven't watched that, listen to it, go back, do that. It was a pretty fun episode. But episode 3 here is going to be done remote just to make things make it possible for us to put out more episodes. So sometimes it'll be remote like this, and then sometimes it'll be in person like usual. And we'll try and make it as often as possible that we do it in person. Anyway, that being said, and I should say, I always forget to do this. But I actually don't. Subscribe on YouTube, youtube.com/second favorite sports. Subscribe, hit the little notification bell if you'd like to know when we post new episodes. And then on SoundCloud, it's soundcloud.com/second favorite sports. You can also follow us there and you'll get the notifications as well whenever we post new episode audio. So if you prefer to just listen to it without having to watch it, you can do it on SoundCloud. And then follow us on Instagram at Second Favorite Sports. So everything is Second Favorite Sports. You don't have to really remember much. That being said, welcome back, episode 3. Trent, I have an acting exercise for you.
Let's do it, man.
I know that this is not your strong suit. It's not mine.
I wouldn't say acting is my a hobby of mine. I'll say that.
Yeah, that's a fair statement. By the way, shout out to the greatest of all time right here on the T. Got to shout it out. But my acting exercise is I'm going to give you a scenario where I'm going to put you in someone's shoes, someone in sports.
Mm-hmm.
And then you could give me a scenario, or I could do it first and then you could go from there. But I'm going to give you a scenario and you have to be them. And it's all going to be kind of centered around press conferences. I thought of this because of, all the playoffs that are going on now, NBA finals and MLB playoffs and all the press conferences after every game. Managers got to explain every decision they made with the bullpen and whatever. So I feel like a lot of the stuff that's said is usually the same. You could just insert different names and it's the same speech over and over again.
Coach speak, player speak.
Exactly. The same cliches.
110%.
So we're going to prove that with our little exercise right now. So do you want to go first or you want me to go first?
I'll go first.
All right. Let me think here. I'll give you a softball. I'll give you an easy one to start. I always say this. I always say like, I'll give you a softball. Oh, God, I got to bleep myself.
In language.
I know. Goodness gracious. I mean, I put us down as not for children on YouTube. So they make you, you got to specify.
Yes.
But, okay. All right. So I'll give you a softball one, though. You are the general manager, coach, whichever one you'd like to choose, of a team that just drafted a somewhat surprising pick at let's say somewhere in the 5 to 10 number, overall range. And you are at your press conference post draft kind of discussing the pick. Go ahead and let us know about your pick.
Well, we drafted
you don't even have to give like a name. You could just be general. I mean, if you want to throw a name out there, go for it, but you know the cliches.
I do. All right, I'm ready. So guys, it's great to be here today, introducing our draft pick, Joe Smith, that we took with the 5th pick. We're excited to get him in the building. We're excited to get him in the room, and get him with his teammates, get him with the coaching staff, the performance team, get him in a playbook, and we're very excited.
And would you say that he's a what do you think about how quickly he'll be able to pick up the playbook?
I'm not, we're not here to really put parameters or deadlines or dates to get people on the field. It's more about just getting them acclimated in the offense and getting them acclimated in the system and making sure that he's comfortable. We have a returning vet coming back as well, so just a mentor as well. But when you take somebody this high, you expect them to be able to take the reins. But we're not pushing or we're not sitting either as well.
What and could you just tell us maybe a little bit about his work ethic? Do you think, he'll be able to handle the rigors of being in the NFL? I mean, what is his work ethic like?
Great work ethic. Here we preach culture. We want the best culture in sports, and with that, it's hard work. It's being in the building 24/7. As a quarterback, um, it's not a 9 to 5 job. It's a 6 to 9 job, and that's something that we always look for in our players, especially quarterback. And if you look at his history when in college, he was always the first one on. As a freshman starter, he was always the first guy there, and he has pedigree, and that's what we were looking for.
I was so hoping you would drop the first in the building, last to leave, because they always say that. Oh, I keep cursing. They always say that though. Like
They always do.
everyone can't be the first to show up in the last.
Yeah, like if who's the first? How many first are people in the building?
Right, that's what I'm saying. There's only one dude, and it's probably not it's probably some coach. It's probably some like special teams coach is the first guy to show up. If we're being honest, and it's just because he hates his wife.
Building. The first one in the building. I find that funny every day. And my favorite one that I just said was not a 9 to 5 or 9 to 6, but a 6 to 9.
Yeah.
Why? Who's coming from 6 to 9?
It was great. That was perfect. You threw the cliches in. It was good. It was well set up.
You always got to throw in culture too. That's a big one.
Yeah. Oh God, they love the culture. It's all about the culture.
Culture. All right. So let's see. All right. You are.
What about the one that I so full disclosure, Trent knew we were going to do this before the episode, because if I sprung an acting exercise on him in episode, wouldn't have been great. Wouldn't have been great.
You want to talk about awkward and uncomfortable?
Yeah.
That's exactly what that is.
Trying to record the original intro to episode 1, where we have to like do our whole little skit and pretend that I didn't know the name of the podcast. It took us like 10 takes?
At least.
Yeah.
At least 10.
So we had to preface. So why don't you ask me? Why don't you do the one that I was telling you about before, the pitcher one?
Okay. Yeah. So you are a starting pitcher.
Mm-hmm.
Game 7.
Mm-hmm.
You throw 6 strong innings, leave with a runner on first base, and the bullpen blows it for you. Now, this is to get to the World Series.
Okay.
All right. Mm-hmm. And you now have to answer these questions.
So, all right. First is the posture, right? The posture's
gotta get the posture.
Poor posture. The guy's never sitting. He's like,
no. Like that. There it is. And all you need is the Gatorade bottle as well sitting on.
Yeah, no, I don't have. All I have is my little solo Gatorade, and that ain't working. So, but yeah, so it's like the shoulders are down, their arms are like this, like in their lap.
Exactly. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
All right. Nick, how do you feel about your performance today?
Now I'm the one laughing. I thought I threw the ball well. I thought I had my pitches working for me. I wasn't exactly where I wanted to be to start, but I felt like I was getting the outs that I needed to, and me and John behind the plate, we were on the same page, and yeah, I thought things were going well.
It says you threw 70% fastballs. Any reason for that? Did you have a feel for your off-speed pitches or not?
Yeah, I mean, it's just it's the matchups. It's you're doing what you think is going to get outs. I don't think it's because I didn't have my off-speed. It's just the way things work.
You were shaking a lot there on the mound, as far as shaking off John. Were you guys on the same page?
Yeah, we were definitely on the same page. It's just sometimes we had to work through it. That's typical stuff. If it's not on this stage, I don't even know if it gets noticed.
How did you feel when the bullpen just completely blew it?
That Skip's decision. I felt good. I felt like I could have kept going, but that's his decision. You have to talk to him about that.
Do you feel like you can win on this team?
I'm not going to talk about that right now.
That was good. That was good. That was perfect. that was perfect.
I had to break on that one. I had to break. That was so perfect because you set it up so well.
It was perfect because you didn't really look at the camera. Like you kind of looked away because what kind of question is it? I hate when they ask that question.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Like when they ask the quarterback who didn't win, hey, do you believe this coach can get you to win? Do you believe you could win with this coach? What do you think they're gonna say?
Yeah, right. What am I supposed to say? My whole inspiration for that entire thing, that entire skit was Garrett Cole. That was like Garrett Cole after a loss.
Yes,
that was my whole.
Because I was trying to get to it's always funny when they ask, "Hey, when the bullpen blew it for you,
yeah,
how did you feel?"
I wanted to make sure to get in there like it's Skip's decision. They're always like, it's the manager's decision, and talk to him about it. Talk to him. Like they always are just like, get it away from him.
That is so funny. That is so funny, man.
All right. Let me think. Who do I want you to be? You are a player. It's kind of topical. You'll figure it out once I say it. You're a player. We're about a quarter of the way through the season, and you just took a season-ending injury. You are done for the year. You're already done. You got the surgery, and now you're talking to the press about your comeback, your road to recovery.
Gotcha.
It's you can understand why that's kind of topical.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a Cowboys fan,
yeah, man,
you know what I'm talking about.
Devastating.
Okay, so you want me to lead you in with a question, or you want to just go?
Yeah, lead me in.
All right. So Trent, obviously difficult injury. Right there at about the quarter mark of the season, things were looking good. You were probably having your best start to a season, your best start to a season that in your career thus far. How does it feel to go down at a moment like that, where it really felt like you guys were on the verge of something?
It's tough. Injuries are part of the game, and you sign up for this, and you just gotta roll with the punches. I'm gonna attack it like I attack everything else.
Yo, I wish we were giving points for getting cliches in, because you just banged out cliches right there. That was crazy.
Injuries are part of the game.
Injuries are part of the game. Got me from the jump. Oh my goodness, that was perfect.
Injuries are part of the game. I'm gonna attack this like I would
the
off season, and I'm gonna come back stronger.
Yeah, I'm gonna come back stronger, better than ever, right?
Better than ever.
Is it hard not to feel like you let your teammates down?
It's tough. You try not to think that way. But yeah, Nick, it's tough. It's tough. You work so hard with these guys, and you grind through a long season, and to have an injury like I did, yeah, you do. You can't help but feel like you're letting your teammates down. But I know they'll be fine, and we got a good coach staff, got a good group of guys, and we just got to keep going. Next man up. That's just really the key. We got 53 other guys in here, or 52, excuse me, not 50, 53. 52 other guys who are working hard every day, and somebody's got to pick up the slack, and that's just what it is.
That's well done. That's well done.
Everybody knows those practice squad guys are not playing on this football team at all.
That was well done. That was great. I was waiting for you to like bring up the depth. Like they always bring up, they'll be like, like, I mean, how many quarterbacks have we heard go, Ryan's a great quarterback, talking about Ryan
Exactly.
Fitzpatrick,
I forgot to put
like,
that. Andy's a great quarterback, man.
they're in good hands. Andy's a great quarterback, competent guy. He'll get it done.
He's a great quarterback.
Oh my God, give me a break. He's your backup. You beat him out
Knock
in
it
training
off.
camp.
Knock it off.
Come on now.
All right. All right. Game 7. You missed the game winner.
Oh, I'm a player again. All right.
Yeah,
No.
No, let's not do the player then. Let's do. I got one. You're a coach.
Okay.
All right. You get down. You go on a 100-yard drive from the 1.
Okay.
Right. A minute 10 left. You get to the 25-yard line. So you're kicking a 30-yarder. No. You get to the 15-yard line. So you're kicking a 20-yarder with 3 seconds left to get to the Super Bowl, and they missed the kick. Okay.
Yep.
Missed the kick. And he shanks it completely. All right, you ready?
Yep.
Nick, tough way to lose. How are you feeling right now?
Well, obviously not the result we wanted. Our guys fought hard out there, and to come up with without the win, obviously difficult for us and for the guys. You feel worse for the guys who gave their all out there. And just a disappointing loss.
What did you say to the guys after the loss?
There are no moral victories, so just told them I was proud of them. They put together a good season. They gave their all, and we're gonna come back next season and try to do it all again.
Is John your kicker moving forward?
Yeah. Yeah. No. Yeah. No. No question. No questions there. Everybody has those moments, and his just happened to be at a really unfortunate time. But yes, he's our kicker going forward.
Do you feel like you were the better team today?
Hard to say that when you don't win, but I do know that our guys gave their best effort. That's all you can ask for. As a coach, that's all you can ask for. My staff gave us the best chance to win that they could, and it wasn't enough at the end of the day.
If you could have one thing back today, do you feel like you prepared your team to win this game?
You don't do that as a head coach. You don't think about that. You don't go backwards. And we're gonna watch the tape. We're gonna see what we could have done better. I'm sure it wasn't a perfect game. There's always things you can always improve. But you don't look back with regret like that. You can't do that. Not in this league. Not in this league. There's too much talent in this league to do that. Yeah, you look behind you, and everybody's passing you already. So we're not going to do that.
Good job, man. That was good. That was good. That was really good. Yeah. The kicker question was hilarious.
I threw in like an extra pause. I had to.
Gotta think about it because they always say, smooth. Yeah, he's a great kicker, blah, blah, blah. And then he's not. He got cut. He's either got traded.
No, he's gone tomorrow.
He's gone tomorrow.
Yeah.
Tomorrow. And then you always got to look at the film. Always got to look at the film.
Yeah. We're going to go back. We're going to watch the tape.
We're going to watch the
tape. And they always will say, like, there's, it wasn't a perfect game. It's something we can improve on. We're going to find out what we can improve on.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, no, your kicker missed. You had a prayer of a last drive. Your kicker missed a 20-yarder.
Yeah.
I was thinking, when you know what I said? I was thinking, what's his name? Blair Walsh?
Yeah.
Missed the kick from like 12 yards or 15 yards or whatever it was.
Horrible. That was good. That was a good one. All right, we'll do one more each.
All right.
Because this is fun. Why not? Should I do? All right. You know what? I'll give you a choice. Do you want to be a player, / management, whatever, or do you want to be a player or a coach / management?
I think I've been a player the last. Let me be a coach.
You want to be a coach? Okay.
Be a coach.
Um, you are a coach whose team is is having an unexpectedly bad season, and you're on the hot seat.
Mm.
You just lost your 5th straight game. We could say it's baseball or basketball, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Something where losing 5 straight games is like bad, but not NFL level bad. Um, just lost your 5th straight game. Team's reeling. You've had some injuries,
Mm.
but you are on the hot seat nonetheless.
Yes.
Okay. Coach, thanks for taking the time. Obviously, team not in great form. Another tough loss today. Uh, the rumors naturally are swirling as they will in this town when results don't come across. How do you feel about that? Is that something that's in your mind when you're coaching?
Nah, I can't control those things. Can't control those things at all. I'm smiling while I'm on the hot seat. It's hilarious.
Yeah, he's happy to be on the hot seat.
You can't control those things, man. You just gotta worry about I'm just worried about trying to get this team a win. Losing 5 straight is never good. No one wants to lose it. No one wants to win as bad as those guys. I know the fans. I know they hate to lose, but those guys hate to lose as well. And we're trying. We're trying. Practices are good, and it's really just we got to bring it to the court. And but as far as the rumors, you can't worry about the rumors.
You've obviously the team's had some injuries. Do you feel like maybe the year would have been going differently if you had those guys on the court?
I want to say yeah, but it's tough to say. Everyone deals with injuries. No one's feeling bad for us. Um,
I'm trying not to laugh because I know it's gonna mess you up.
no, that's
But that was perfect. That was like the perfect answer. That was so good.
no one's gonna feel bad for us. We got to figure it out. No one else is gonna figure it out for us. We'd love to have those guys back on the court. But we got 11 more guys that need to step up. Simple as that.
I don't think I have any more questions. That was good. That was good. I don't know, like
No one's gonna feel bad for us. It's hilarious.
that was perfect. It was almost like after that, I was like, damn, I don't want to ask another question because like that's
The coach is like, please feel bad for us. I know, I like that's what they want to say. Like, please feel bad. Like I lost my best player, man. Like,
yeah, right.
I got a bunch of guys just playing now. Oh, that's so funny.
We haven't done a commentator yet.
Commentator.
So, like my thought was like a commentator. You know how there'll be those guys that are way too hype on a guy that's like doing well right at this very moment, but they're gonna talk about him like he's a god.
Give me an example. I'm trying to think of one.
Like like for example, like Randy Arozarena.
Oh yes.
Tremendous right now.
Yeah.
But if you asked the commentator about him 2 months ago, they would have been like,
who? Yeah, absolutely. That is like they saw this coming the whole time. I talked to his coach in Cuba. Like, what do you like? Did you? Were you in touch with his? You saw the film? Did you saw him when he was 12
on a dirt field?
Everyone does it though. That's so true. Everyone does it.
Absolutely.
Like Michael K will do it. It's amazing to me. Like the hardest thing to watch are playoff games by national broadcast. And it's like, give me a break. Like, I'd much rather listen to the radio broadcast or anything else because they drive home these surface points so much. It's ridiculous.
I don't know. Those guys kill me.
Hilarious.
You had a speaking of commentators. A good time to shift away because you had a point that you said you wanted to tell me about A-Rod, but I said let's save it for the pod. So we were talking about A-Rod and his strange, just the way he talks is so.
So yes, A-Rod is an interesting guy to me from commentating standpoint, and I liked A-Rod as a Yankee. I don't know how you felt.
I love them.
He was everything you wanted in a like. He was so great as far as his ability, and we know the backstory and everything. My point of talking about A-Rod is I actually have a broader point that I want to get your thoughts on.
Okay.
So A-Rod got here what, 04? After Boone hit that was 03 when we went to the World Series against the Marlins. And Boone hit the game winner to get to the World Series, but he tore his ACL in the summer, that summer.
Yep.
And so he came, so we traded for A-Rod. And for years, and I'm kind of seeing it now with, there's always that Yankee who quote unquote has to earn his stripes. And stripes. And I believe that guy has been Stanton this decade. In this generation. It's been Stanton. And the Jeter is Judge. So to take it back to 04, do you believe that A-Rod was trying so hard to be as like my point is, I always felt like A-Rod, since he got to the Yankees, wanted to be loved like Jeter, but didn't have to because he was that great. And I don't think he realized that.
Yeah, I can see what you're saying. I mean, he was basically chasing a shadow, right?
Yes.
You know, I mean, he probably felt like he was stuck in a shadow.
Yeah.
But he was chasing the shadow in reality. Like, he, bright enough to shine himself.
Yeah.
I think that could honestly explain. I mean, you are who you are, but a young dude like him in a different situation maybe becomes a different guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like I get what you're saying. Like, he didn't really feel like he was enough, felt like he had to be everything.
Yeah.
And that could kind of explain why he's as weird as he is today.
I think that's one of the reasons why he's as weird. I mean, that's the lack of a better term, is weird.
Yeah.
He's just odd sometimes on the radio, like on a comment, like as a commentator.
Yeah.
Like the points he makes and the puns and things like that. I always felt like he was trying to be. I think he always wanted to be loved.
Mm-hmm.
And he wanted to be the face of the Yankees. And everyone will tell you probably he was the better player over Jeter as far as raw ability and talent. Yeah. But it was going to be so much harder to win over the city. Like Derek Jeter was always going to have more rings than him. Like, it wasn't even close.
Right. Yeah. Right.
You know, for every ring that A-Rod won with the Yankees or tried to, Jeter was going to have 4 more. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no matter what he did.
No matter what. And I also feel that way kind of about KD in Golden State. I feel like KD wanted a home, and everyone knows KD was the guy on that basketball team and one of the best players to ever live, but he was never going to be Steph. Like, it's just same thing with Jeter. Like, Jeter was the toast of the town, literally. Like, he was a homegrown guy. And I think A-Rod always tried to compete for that, in my opinion. He always tried to be that guy and wanted to be that guy so bad, because I think he knew he was the better player. But the mystique of Derek Jeter was just a different level, even though A-Rod at those times when A-Rod won multiple MVPs with us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he was the best player in the league for like a 4 or 5 year stretch. From like 04 to like 2010, 2009, there was no one touching him. So that's just my little thought I had. I was like,
no one touching him except for the dude with the gloves on and the needle. That dude was touching him a lot.
Yes. Did you ever see Have you seen Screwball?
I haven't. You recommended it to me.
I
still haven't watched it.
It is one of the best because it just talks about all that, but it's one of the best movies. So just
there you go.
like good. It's a good, you know what it is? It's a good movie to watch either during the week. It's like a snow in movie. It's a quarantine movie because like it'll come on. It's very easy to watch, but it's hysterical. It's hysterical.
There you go. Screwball. Anybody?
Oh yes, there you go, people.
Any thoughts out there that want to that need a good movie recommendation? There it is, right there.
We do it all here, guys. We really do.
We do it all. Not unlike what A-Rod aspires to be. Do it all. It's you know what? It's weird too because Jeter owns a team.
He does.
And now A-Rod's trying to buy the Mets. It's like still chasing the shadow. It's nuts.
He's still chasing it.
But then he's also trying to be Mr. Commentator and like a mayor, basically, of sports talk. Can you do me a favor?
Sure.
I'm going to put you on the spot, but I already did that with the acting exercise.
Mm-hmm.
Can you, if you were A-Rod,
yep.
Who is the team that's playing the Braves right now in the NLCS?
The Dodgers.
Excuse me, but if you were A-Rod, who is it?
Who's playing the Braves? It's funny
right now.
The Dodgers are playing the Braves.
Who is that?
The Dodgers. The Dodgers are playing.
Trent said that to me one time in he sent me like a voice message, and we just happened to be talking about A-Rod, and he just dropped that in there like a little aside, and I've been cracking up about it when I tell you for a week straight. I wish I kept that voice message. That's spot on. That's a microcosm of his strange like cadence.
Yes,
he talks like
again. Another odd thing he does.
That's like because we were talking about it right before we came on. Like that's not really Hispanic the way he says it.
No,
and I don't know what I think. I gotta say to you, I think it's the Hispanic meets like he has this weird like uber white guy vibe to him also like
he wants to be polished,
and I think that's what creates this weird like just his whole thing, his mannerisms, and like I don't know where that comes from. I don't know if that comes from trying to. Maybe you're onto something. Maybe it's like the whole trying to be Mr. Clean Cut, Mystique Jeter thing just gone wrong.
Yeah. So I got another question for you. This is like very, very spot on. I just want your reaction. Think about who these guys are or these teams are. But we got multiple winless football teams.
Yeah.
If you were a quarterback
mm-hmm.
coming out, let's say you're T. Lawrence, football Jesus, as they call him, and you have an opportunity to go to these teams or teams drafting you, what is in order from worst to best? The best, who are the 5 teams that you would not want to go play for right now?
That's good. You're saying just in football?
In football, in order, and I think we could push this exercise to any team you want, like any sports league. Let's say you're the best at what you do.
Got you. Okay. So 5 teams that I want no part of playing for.
No part of.
There's a lot that could go into this too. Like it's not just how bad they are. It could be like the city is man.
No, I want you to incorporate all facets from city, ownership, uniform, stadium playing.
I like this. Okay.
And then just the overall, like how good the team is.
Right.
Coaching staff, everything.
All right. Let's see what comes to mind. I'll just do the big 3. I'll do either basketball, football, or baseball.
Okay.
Not that the other sports aren't important.
Yes.
Calm down.
Calm down hockey.
We were saying calm down hockey. All right. Calm down soccer.
Yes, please.
And I love soccer, but still, we just me saying soccer, like 3 people were like, "I'm out. See you later." Click. They're like,
people turned off already.
Yeah. And then just you saying hockey, like 2 people were like, "Should I turn this off?" And then a couple people were like, "Say more." So the first thing that I think of is like the city, but also like those teams with a losing history, like.
Yes, because as I say, losing is a disease. It's like,
it just sticks around, man.
It does.
it's like a stink over. I'd have to say the Detroit Lions are definitely in
Ooh,
my top
that's
five.
a great one. That's a great one.
It's just,
They're a perennial top 5 on this list team.
yeah, it's just like, and they're cool. Like the jerseys are cool. Detroit's a good, it's a
It
good
is a good
sports
city.
city,
It is.
Like I wouldn't put the Tigers on this list. I wouldn't put the Red Wings on this list.
No.
Even the Pistons I wouldn't put on this list, but
Yeah.
the Lions
Ooh, the Lions,
are
man. Yes.
definitely on this list. Um, I'm trying to think, is there a baseball one? If not for them being in Miami, the Marlins would 100% be on the list. But
Hmm.
but
Interesting.
my Miami definitely.
Interesting.
No, well, I was gonna say it's hard not to say my own Orlando Magic, but they got the whole no state tax thing going for them. So
I like
maybe
what you're
that.
doing here. You're giving me one from each. I like that. Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to
I'm gonna,
go through and like bounce around. If
I'm gonna give you mine after too.
okay. Um Feel free to shout some of yours out. Maybe like it'll jog stuff for me. Go
Okay.
ahead. Give me
So
like
you
one or
said
two of yours.
with the NBA, I probably wouldn't want to go to like Sacramento.
Oh, that's good.
Definitely don't want to
Yeah.
touch Sacramento if they had the
Yeah.
chance to draft me for sure. Just because, and I like the arena. I love the
Mm.
colors and even the history of the Kings. Because for a minute with Chris Webber, and they were a cool franchise for a while. Like through those
Yeah.
early
Yeah.
2000s, late 90s, like White Chocolate and Mike Bibby and Peja, um, Brad Miller was there and
Hmm.
Hidu Turkoglu. Like they had a good group of guys. And Arco Arena was the loudest arena in the NBA. Doug Christie. They had the cool, like purple is one of my favorite colors, and the purple uniforms and the arena is amazing. If it's Sacramento as a city, it's not it's to me, it's just not one of those places. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Um, so that's definitely one in basketball. Baseball, I mean, the Colorado Rockies, like me personally, I would love to go play. Like I would love to play in Miami because I just like Miami, like
Right.
city. But if you told me I have to play in Colorado for baseball and we don't play in a dome or anything like that, or like we don't have a retractable roof, like all these, think about it, all these stadiums have retractable roofs and all that. And I know Coors Field is older, but the thought of building an outdoor stadium with no roof in Denver just doesn't make sense to me.
Right. Yeah. In the place where it literally snows the most of anywhere in the league.
Exactly. Like, what was the thinking? I just don't know what
Yeah.
the thinking was.
Yeah. It's
Um,
ridiculous.
so yeah, Colorado.
I have one if you're ready for me to
Sacramento for
jump
sure.
in with one. Because you're exactly what I thought would happen happened. Your Sacramento jogged me to say Oakland Athletics. No, thank
Oh
you.
yeah.
I'm good.
Oh yeah.
You're gonna nickel and
Oakland's
dime
probably
me.
better. I would pick Oakland ahead of Colorado, actually, to be honest. Cause just
Like,
because I'd rather play in Denver than Oakland.
yes, yeah, yeah.
And that has a lot, and it's not because of the city. It's really because of the Coliseum.
It's
That's
the
the reason.
Coliseum. To me, it's the weather too.
Yeah,
Bay Area weather. I'm
very
good.
rare. It's
I'm
very
good.
rare.
It's like cold. It's like annoying cold. It's
It
like
is.
not cold enough to put on a parka, but it's too cold to wear short sleeves like
Yes.
for a good chunk of
And
the
it's like
year.
cool. They said the Bay Area summer starts in September.
Yeah,
Like that's when it's
I'm
warm.
good.
It's
I'm
always
good.
cold there. Nah, I'm good. Absolutely, I'm good.
And I don't need, and look, I respect what their front office has done.
Yeah,
Obviously, some revolutionary stuff, but as a
absolutely,
player,
absolutely.
I'm not trying to get paid in peanuts.
No,
They're not gonna pull out the purse when it's time to get paid. They're gonna
definitely,
wave by and then you're gonna go somewhere else. Like,
definitely.
yeah, so Oakland's on my list for sure. Um, be kind of tough, Minnesota would be tough. Not even because their teams are traditionally that bad. It's just, I mean, the T Wolves, but and I love the T Wolves unis, but that
Great.
might be all that I think they have going for them.
Yeah, that might be
So
because
maybe
they're
the T
not a.
Wolves are on my
I think
list.
about it. They're not a free agent place. They got to draft players to go there, and most of their players leave. Um, you got like if you're a T-Wolf, you got to be there in the wintertime where it's probably
Oh,
brutal.
horrible.
It's just brutal. And these are NBA guys. So like you got to think about NBA players. They're just like, and I'm not trying to make a blanket statement here, but like the when you the fly out to Minnesota, you really got to be doing it big, like in
Yeah.
Minnesota, in order to get the fly out. I think because
Yeah.
it's I can't push that. I can't. Hey, we're in South Beach. Like
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
that's an easy move here. Minnesota, which is a really good city, what people tell me people tell me it's a top 10 city.
I've heard great things about Minneapolis and about the Twin Cities.
Absolutely. It's just the Twin Cities in December. No,
No, thank you.
can't
No.
do it. It's 10
Dude,
degrees.
places I can't be in places where they go, we're just not gonna plow. There's too much.
Yeah, no.
No, I'm good. I'm good.
I can't do it. I can't do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely not. I can't do it. Um, you know what's funny? I would put San Antonio on there, to be honest.
Ooh, why?
I would put San Antonio on strictly for the city if
Okay.
I'm an NBA guy. Like if I'm an NBA player, and it's probably gotten way better since they've been there. As far as like when you get cities, and I would also throw like Oklahoma City on that list as well, like
Mm,
for NBA cities.
yeah.
It's and like I said, they always grow. Like the next 5 years is always better in those cities because they get used to having a professional team in there. So they
Yeah.
build like
They put some stuff around it.
yeah clubs. They build a Dave and Buster's. They build the high rise, the condos.
Right.
Um, they build like those sit like those downtown areas that are like market towns. So you
Yes.
have like
Yeah,
the
I know exactly
restaurants
what you're
around
talking about.
it with the shopping, and they'll put a Louis Vuitton store in there somewhere. So they cater to the athletes and that lifestyle. And
Mm.
but I mean, except the food, Oklahoma City is doing nothing for me.
I tell
That
you what, and also if anyone disagrees with any of the teams we're saying, let us know.
please,
Like you got our social media at Second Favorite Sports.
yeah.
Hit us up there.
Yeah,
Drop
make a
something in the
case.
comments.
If there's any OKC guys that are listening to this, make a case for Oklahoma City because I've never been, but I mean,
I'm
you gotta
always,
sell me. You gotta sell me on OKC. You
yeah,
have
I
to.
would love for someone to try and sell me
I
on
would love to.
OKC.
And if you think of any, please let us know.
Give me one like sneaky sleeper place that would be nice to play, right? Because everyone thinks of the obvious ones,
Yeah.
right? Everyone wants to play in LA, in New York, in South Beach, whatever. Give me like one that you think is a sleeper. Like you would be kind of lukewarm going there. And then once you get there, you're like, this is nice. I
Yeah.
like this team. I like playing here.
Um. Let's see.
I'm
I
trying
would
to think of one
say
myself.
it could be any league.
Anywhere, anything.
Let's see.
I got one. If it's your kind of town and your kind of vibe, Portland could definitely be one of those.
Definitely.
It's
Definitely.
kind of the organization's been run a little shaky, and the town is like there's some crazy stuff goes down there,
Yeah.
every now and again. And
Yeah.
it's definitely there's a very Portland has its own kind of specific vibe to it for sure.
They do. They have the most. Fun fact. They have the most gentlemen's clubs per capita in the country. It's like every half mile they have one, which is ridiculous.
See, not just sports you get here, folks.
Guys, we're here for you. Know that.
Yeah, but yeah, to me, Portland's one of those places where like the team a little iffy on how it's been run. The unis swag. I mean, crazy.
Great unis.
Love the unis.
Great unis.
Um, if you're talking about current team, you gotta like the team. I love the attitude. Like it's funny to me because the current attitude of Portland, the city, does not match the attitude of the basketball team. But I almost feel like the basketball team there represents kind of the silent minority of people living there
Yeah.
because it's Portland has become and maybe it's always been, but as far as like I know, more and more it has become this like very woke place and like has its own kind of, like I said, its own kind of vibe to it, and can be kind of like an epicenter for certain things in style and whatever, and in kind of like its own kind of style. But the Trailblazers have that like gritty, hard nosed, like we're gonna go fight in the stands
Yes,
kind of feel to them.
absolutely.
So I feel like the people that relate to that relate to the teams feel are the
Mhm.
kind of people that are like, damn, what's happening to Portland?
Yeah,
Like that's
definitely.
those people are going to the Blazers game.
And most people I know that have gone to Portland, and people from Portland that I know, they love Portland. They're kind of
Mm-hmm.
like, I think of them as like Pennsylvania people. Like
Mm.
to be honest, anybody I know from Pennsylvania loves Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, Pennsylvania is, it's not, there's no, like, Pennsylvania is in a weird spot because it's blocked off from the beach,
Yeah.
which will also get me to my next point.
Oh,
Um,
good.
and PA is like, it's a Commonwealth. It's just a different type of state, but it's
It's a
gigantic,
Commonwealth.
huge. It's a huge state, but people I know that live there love Pennsylvania. Like
Yeah.
they love Pennsylvania. Um, so yeah, like I think Portland, I would love to go to Portland, to be
Yeah.
honest. I like that, like Portland, Seattle. Like I can't. That's a trip. That's a real trip that I would love to
Yeah.
go on. My sneaky one. So hear me out here. My sneaky one are the New Jersey Devils, and I'll tell you why. So not only because I'm a fan, but I'm going to sell you on the New Jersey Devils if you had to be a free agent or a draft pick.
Okay.
So the New Jersey Devils.
Full disclosure, Trent,
Yeah.
where are you from?
Newark, New Jersey.
Okay.
New Jersey, actually.
Just making
No
sure.
bias, though. No bias.
No bias. No
This
bias.
is a complete no bias show. We just give you facts, okay?
Right. Just wanted the facts on the table there, just so anyone listening or watching has the full picture that this New Jersey native is going to pitch you on his sneaky addition to this list
Yes.
of the New Jersey Devils. But okay, go ahead, proceed.
So let's talk about history. The Devils have won 3 cups in the last, let's say it's been a while. Let's do 30 years. And we've had great players come play for us. In the state of New Jersey, you can actually do anything you want in the state of New Jersey, right?
Anything you want.
Anything.
You're
anything.
starting to sound like a politician.
I almost sound like
We're not.
KG.
Anything's possible.
Anything is possible, right? So you can go to Six Flags in New Jersey. You can go to the mountains in New Jersey. You can go to Philadelphia. You could drive down to Philly. You could drive down to Atlantic City. You can go to New York. You can go to Hoboken. You can go to Jersey City. You can also live in Bergen County, which is one of the richest counties in the country.
This is true.
Or you can go to the beach, a bunch of types of beaches.
This is also true.
Cape May, Long Beach Island. We have everything you will want. Everything. As far as the franchise is concerned, let's go to living. Let's go to what am I going to do during the season? Living in New Jersey, playing for the Devils. So when you get here, I can show you a home in Morris County, Short Hills. I can show you a house in Alpine, New Jersey. You could live over by Chris Rock if you wanted to. You could live in Hoboken on the river and look at New York City. Anything you want, you can do here. Now, I mean, the hockey team's pretty bad, but that's beyond the point. I'm talking about what are you going to do off the ice? Because that's what matters. Okay, that's what matters. So, yes, the Devils, and we have a solid history. We got some good young players.
I will say you play in in my opinion, one of the most slept on venues in sports.
Talk about it. Explain. Please explain to the people, Nick.
The Rock, I have been to many a game at the Rock and at many different types of things.
Mm-hmm.
and it's a solid venue.
It is, isn't it?
Aside from like the fact that as a kid, the first time I went there, we parked in the lot across the street, which is great, by the way. It's right
Absolutely.
there. It's right there.
It is.
And my my friend's dad who had taken us to the game, and I hope he knows who he is when he hears this.
Yes.
If he hears this, I hope he does. My friend's dad's like, he's like freaking out because of how much the parking costs at the lot across the street.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, we got to do it. And we're like, well, why do you got to do it? And he's like, this is the carjacking capital of the country. So we are parking in this lot. I'm not parking it on this street.
Yes.
Right outside the stadium where there's going to be a lot of people passing by. So if you can get past that, now that's not a blanket statement on Newark.
No.
Been there many times aside from going to the Rock.
Yes.
Not a blanket statement on Newark, but a tough sell for someone coming from the city to say, like, just overlook the crime data a little bit and enjoy the game, because they're not driving my car. They're driving their Aston Martin to the game.
Yes.
So take the Uber and you got the money. Take the Uber and go enjoy a game at the Rock because it's actually a nice event. It's like it's not too big.
Nope.
The acoustics are good. It's
the
comfortable. Lighting's good. It's a comfortable place. That's how I would say it. It's a comfortable place to watch a game.
It's a comfortable place, absolutely. And in that, and it's speaking on a point that you're saying about the carjack. In 2007, when they built it, that area hadn't been developed yet. So we're talking 2007. We're talking like 13 years now of it being where it is now, downtown. And downtown Newark, especially around that area, it's so different now than when it was when they first opened. Yes, can't undersell Brick City, as I like to call it, home, as I call it. Well,
yeah, as you call it as well.
973, never forget it. But yeah, I mean, it like you said, I love Prudential Center. I think it's very slept on. I've seen multiple Devils games there. I've seen Seton Hall play basketball there. I've seen Nets games there as well, and I've seen Travis Scott there. So,
look, me as an East Coast guy,
yeah,
I'm sold on Jersey. Yeah. I think that your pitch was tremendous. If you're trying to pitch a West Coaster, that's tough.
That is
the whole
tough.
Beach thing. They would have spit in your face. They would have been like, "Are you kidding me?"
Are you kidding me?
But as an East Coaster, like, solid case.
Like if you were a hockey player from, let's say you were from Saskatchewan, right? And I told you, hey, like you got to come to play for the Devils. Or if you were from Maine, it's like, hey, come play for the Devils. Live in Hoboken, and your practice facility is connected to your. See, that's slept on too. Your practice facility is inside of your arena. That's huge.
That's true. Yeah, you don't got to be bouncing all over the place like the Knicks in White Plains.
Exactly. And it's not like it's like White Plains. That's upstate New York, practically, where they practice at.
I mean, yeah, it's not a quick drive from, unless you're doing it at like 3 a.m. It's not a quick drive from the city.
No, right?
Where you're definitely living. Although, funny thing, the young dudes usually will live in White Plains.
They will, right?
There's like a rotating apartment.
Let me ask you this. So, that was a big point. Like, I'll hear people say, I have to disclose, I'm a Nets fan as well, being from Jersey. I'm not one of these new Brooklyn fans, even though we love you and I love you, because I love that we're in Brooklyn now. And a little bit of me feels like if we were still playing at Izod Center, Kevin Durant's not coming to play for us, to be honest.
Definitely not.
And I love Barclays. I love Brooklyn. I love the black jerseys, Jay-Z, the court, everything. We are the hipster basketball team to me. So that's what we are. So the Nets, and people, I don't know how many people noticed, but the Nets used to, when we first moved to Brooklyn, we used to practice in East Rutherford. Still, like we hadn't built the practice facility in Industry City over in Sunset Park.
That's a pain.
Sunnyside. I forget where it is. It's in It's an industry city in Brooklyn. So
Okay.
so that's probably like 15 minutes from Barclays
Right.
in
Easy.
downtown. So before we built that, and it's been voted like top 3 practice facilities in NBA. You got 360 views of the city. You got views of Manhattan. Um, you're in Brooklyn, of course, which is great. But that was over. I feel like there was multiple articles talking about the Nets got KD and Kyrie because the practice facility was in the city. So they could live in Brooklyn and also live in Manhattan because KD, I believe, lives in Manhattan. He lives in Soho or lower East Side. No, he lives in Tribeca. I think he lives in Tribeca. Don't quote me though. But you're able to live there or live in Brooklyn. So everyone on the Nets lives in the city.
Right.
You get the Knicks vibe where, hey, I'm living in Manhattan, or a majority of them live near the. You got to be by the practice facility if you're a
Right.
young player.
Right.
So are you really getting a New York vibe? That's the question I have for you. If you're a Knick player that lives in Yonkers or lives in White Plains or lives in Westchester, are you really catching the New York vibe of really like you're not living in the city though?
No.
How do you feel about that?
Oh, I mean, I agree with you. It's not a shocker that their young talent doesn't always. I don't want to say pan out because there's a lot of reasons their young talent doesn't pan out,
Yeah.
but that they don't feel that like that sense. Because yeah, I mean that makes a lot of sense what you're saying. You would want to have your young dudes experiencing all the things that you promise when you pitch these guys and when you talk to them and you want them to talk about this stuff to other dudes
Absolutely.
down the line and they're like, "Yo, I'm living in a condo uh, across from the train because that's like my easiest way to get to work."
Yeah.
They're living like a regular Joe commuter.
Absolutely.
It's a tough sell,
It
and it's
is,
kind of
right?
something you just throw them into, and they like if you're not from this area, you have no idea.
No.
You have no idea. You're a kid from like Wisconsin that then went to Kentucky to play ball, and you get drafted to the Knicks, and you're like, oh great, I'm gonna live this like hotshot New York lifestyle, and they're like, here's the keys to your condo in Yonkers, and you're like, where?
Where?
Be
Well,
like,
let's
is
say
that the street
KP.
name?
Let's say you're KP, right?
Oh my goodness.
So KP comes over from Latvia and he's like, I'm living in New York City. Like I'm about to live. Like I guarantee you in his mind, he said, all right, I'm going to live. I can live on Broadway. I can live on like 30, I can live on 35th or 42nd in 8th or 42nd and 5th, or even like the Hudson Yards. Let's take Hudson Yards. He buys an apartment in Midtown East, right? So like a couple blocks over from the Garden. He's like, oh, this is perfect. But no, he's living where because that's what matters. Forget about the Garden. You got to live where the practice facility is.
Yep.
No one cares about the Garden until game day. You know what I
Right.
mean?
And it's only for a couple hours.
Exactly. So you spend probably 85% of your time, 90 in the practice facility anyway. So you're really living this suburban life and playing for the Knicks. And is that overstated to you? Do you feel like that's overstated? If the Knicks were winners, would that matter?
Nah, it wouldn't matter as much. It couldn't because you're in New York, you're winning, you'd be a king.
Yeah, it
And it
wouldn't.
doesn't really matter where you live at that point. Like
Yeah,
you're a king. You'd find your way into the city as much as you can,
absolutely.
and you'd enjoy every moment of it. So no, if they're winning, it doesn't matter. But
Yeah,
when you're, the back end of the league every year, it doesn't make it easier when you have to go back to your, one bedroom that like five other dudes have had for the last 5 years before you, and none of them are still on the team.
yeah.
And it's like there's like writing on the wall, like you're in prison.
I
You know what I'm saying? Like those
feel you.
those apartments get recycled like crazy.
Yeah,
Like I
yeah,
remember seeing Shump when he was living in White Plains, and I saw Shump just like out and about, and I'm like, and he was big at the time, like he had the flat top going, and like people were talking about him, and Like he's got to go back to his one bedroom in White Plains that like used to be David Lee's. Like
I
this is
know.
bounced around.
It's crazy, dude. Because I think about it a lot. That's one of the selling points, luckily for the Nets, is that you have to live in the city in order to get to. You have to live in Brooklyn, and I don't think that's a hard sell for people. You know what
No,
I mean?
no.
That's not a hard sell for a young guy who's coming, and they say, you got to live in Park Slope or Williamsburg in order to play for us, and they're like, okay, that's
Yeah. Oh,
where do I
what was
sign up?
me?
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Or hey, you don't got to live in Brooklyn, but the farthest you can go is Soho. You know what I mean? Or the farthest you can go is Battery Park or Tribeca. Like, please, like, let's
Yeah.
keep it to let's keep it to this area here. It's like, yeah, sure, let's do it.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't even matter now. I, I, I'm surprised. I know how. To me, I've always been over the last couple of years. I've been like, hey, like, they need to build. What would it take for them to build a practice facility in Manhattan? Like, that's going to be a lot of money, of course, but like, I think if any time to do it, it's now where the prices are going down in
Oh,
Manhattan.
that's true. Yeah, there might actually be an opportunity at this
Because
point.
like, to me personally, I think they should build it on like the pier, like Pier 17
Oh, that'd be cool.
over there, right next to Hudson Yards. You could find a warehouse there and build the. I think that would be a selling point for every free agent. It's like you're really in the city.
Yeah,
You know what I
that'd be
mean?
cool.
And I mean, Dolan has nothing but money. Now he'll tell you, like the practice facility in Westchester is fine, but to me, it's optics. It's
Yeah.
optics. It's like,
Well,
like we built this brand new facility, and it's about location. It always goes back to location, location, location. You know.
yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, those are the things because I always wanted to know. I always like getting people's opinion on what do you think of that. Like, is that am I overstating that, or is that a legitimate? Is that like a legitimate thing where like, hey, like the net you could sell the Nets because Nets you get to live in Brooklyn or Manhattan, and you can't do that with you can, but it's just a hassle. It's not convenient. I'll say that.
Absolutely. Well, you ready for this? Are you ready for this? Ready for this bow that I'm about to tie on it?
Oh man.
You said location, 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 and how important that is. As we said at the start of the episode, first remote episode, it will not be the last. I think this is
Nope.
a good place to end up, right?
I
I
think
mean,
so.
we've been going for a while. You know how I know that we're like close to the end because my cup is like almost empty.
There you go.
So it's water. Chill.
Yeah.
Um, um, but yeah, so first of what will probably be many remote episodes, but hopefully not as many as we have in person.
Yep.
You got any closing remarks? Any last things you want to say?
No, man, this is good. This is our first time doing this. This is my first time really like setting up the microphone and doing the Zoom stuff, and it's good. You know, we're just trying to get it to the people, man. Whatever way we can. This is a COVID world we're living in now, so you may get a
Absolutely.
couple more of these because we don't know what the future holds over the next couple months, but
Yeah,
um,
for
just to
sure.
be safe. But yeah, this was good, man. I enjoyed it. But this isn't the only way we're gonna do it. Of course, we're gonna try to keep it as in IP as my guy Nick would say, IP.
IP.
IP as much as possible because it's just a different vibe. But I liked it. It was good.
This is good. We acted. We talked about A-Rod. We talked about we heard possibly the greatest sales pitch for the state of New Jersey of all time.
Jersey strong.
Uh, and we talked about the subpar Knicks, which seems to be a constant. That seems to be like it hasn't been an episode if we don't talk about uh, how much of a disappointment the New York Knicks are. I'm not even a Knicks fan.
Not even a Knicks fan. That's the truth.
That's all I got. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube, youtube.com/second favorite sports. All 3 episodes so far are there. Definitely check out the other ones if you haven't. SoundCloud.com/second favorite sports. Don't forget to follow there if you prefer the audio. You can also download the audio. I don't know if people know that, but if you have the SoundCloud app, you can download the full audio of the episode so that way you don't have to be on Wi-Fi to listen to it. So if you want to listen to it and you don't want it to be chopped up and you're in an air, maybe you're on the train or something, or you're commuting and you might go through bad service, you want to be able to hear it without interruption, download it. You can do that. Thank you for watching or listening. This has been Nick and
Trent
for your
second
favorite sports podcast. We'll catch you all next time. Peace.
Peace.